The North Queensland Cowboys, a temporary stutter, or is this a team returning to the norm in 2022? The Cowboys, a team that has hobbled out of the gate so far this year with some very poor performances and some lucky wins. Miles, you're a Cowboys fan. How do you feel about this team this year?
I'm going to tell you the truth, Cowboys fans. I'm honestly a little bit worried at this point in time. Probably something you didn't expect to hear, but with Drinkwater going down for a couple of weeks, it's really hurt us in the attacking category. I think last night against a team that we probably should beat by quite a way, they lost a couple of guys early as well. Brimo and Foran went down, and then we got an intercept try, which doesn't happen very often, and then we got a very lucky try to close it out at the end with Tom Chester scoring. I suppose you can say that we're competing on those plays, and that's how we got the tries. But boy, they gave me a huge scare in the first half.
I mean, let's do a review. Let's have a look at these games. Let's sort of talk about whether the Cowboys have impressed or not. So that first game, Cowboys and Raiders, 19-18. Cowboys blew out to a quick start, but gave away a lot of points there.
Yeah, it's kind of shot out to an 18-0 lead, and you thought it was just going to be, this is the Cowboys of 2022.
More of the same, Let's
exactly.
go. Yeehaw.
Yeah, and we let them back into the game until it was 18-all, and then we scraped over the line with a 1-point win, and I wasn't impressed by that. If you're thinking that, it's a thriller, it's a 1-point game, we should have put them away. We should have won by about 30 points.
Was that a full-strength Cowboys roster?
I'd say aside from Luciano Leilua being out and us not properly having, Lukey back, and I think Mitchell Dunn will probably find his way into the team at some point as well. But as far as those guys are concerned, it was a pretty much full-strength team.
Okay, so a bit worrying there. You went to round 2. You're facing up against the Broncos, and a lot of people were tipping the Cowboys there, but 28-16 to the Broncos.
Yeah, we made that game close for a long period of time. I was more impressed with that effort than any other effort that we've put in so far this year, because it was a real back and forth game, and I think we got out to a lead as well in that game, and the Broncos, as we've seen this year, are just much too good for a lot of teams, and Reece Walsh really made us look like fools there, coming out the back, using a lot of speed to beat our semi-slow defenders. I think Hiku and Feldt especially struggled to contain any of that attack, but yeah, again, a performance that we probably should have been better in, but just couldn't, hold off an electric Broncos attack.
They've been fantastic too. But yeah, look, back to the Cowboys. I mean, Hiku and Feldt. Hiku out for a bit of time now with an injury there, and Kyle Feldt. I love Kyle Feldt, you love Kyle Feldt, but he's had a bit of a tough 2023 season, and that was evident in that loss against the Warriors.
Yeah, he's not the Kyle Feldt of old, though. I think one thing I love about Kyle Feldt, and I've got to hold on to a bit of nostalgia here, but it was close to 8 years ago now that he scored that try in the grand final. And
really?
Yeah, I think we're still looking at him as an aerial threat, probably still one of the most underrated finishers in the game. He's great when he's got the line open, knows where he needs to be, but I just think with Kyle, he's probably losing a bit of speed there to a lot of younger wingers. I think we saw Khan Pereira tear him up last night as well. So with Kyle, he's not going to be the fastest guy in the game, but he's still a very serviceable winger, and I think as long as he does his job well, doesn't make any mistakes, he's going to be all right for us. The
problem is he has had a few, and in that Warriors game, 26-12, the Warriors put you to the sword there. I mean,
that wasn't anything to do with our wingers or anything like that. That was our forward pack didn't stand up.
And the creativity as well. So the last 15 minutes, you guys had a lot of ball coming at the Warriors, and there was just nothing thrown at them. And this is where I'm a bit worried. And look, tell me if I'm wrong here, but guys like Chad Townsend is who he is. But a guy like Tom Dearden, did he overperform last year? Are we expecting too much from Tom Dearden? Because coming into last year, he wasn't rated.
No, I think against the Warriors, yes, I will say that Tom didn't really step up. And with Drinkwater being out, it's tough because all the kicking goes then to Chad, because Scott Drinkwater takes a lot of that pressure off Chad. And he kind of leads our attack, Scott Drinkwater, with him rolling around the back and making those options viable. But with Tommy Dearden, I think last night we saw a bit of a return to 2022 form where he had 3 line breaks. over 100 meters, and he was much harder to stop.
Good.
But I think with the Cowboys' attack at the moment, you're right, it's looking slow and not a lot of players in motion. When they go to Nanai, it looks good. They could go down the right, but on the left, I think last night I was saying it to myself, I'm like, we really need Luciano back there because he attracts so many defenders.
Or Lukey starting there. I think that could be the option too. Let's throw some injuries in there as well. So this game against the Titans that happened very recently, they were on top in that game. Kieran Foran and Brimo both out of that game. You guys got on top after that. I personally think if those guys didn't get knocked out, the Titans go on with it. But you guys haven't been without injuries either. The Cowboys have lost. Drinkwater's been out for a bit with suspension. Longy went down about 40 minutes into that game. You've lost Ruben Cotter fairly recently as well. You've got Nanai, who's looking like maybe a suspension there too. The team is running on fumes right now, and it could be a bit of tough sledding coming up. So we then go to Bulldogs, Dolphins, Warriors again, and Knights. Actually, it's not the harshest draw.
No. So that's one thing I am comforted by is the fact that over the next couple of weeks, while we've got players out, while we've got Scott Drinkwater spending another couple of games on the sideline, we've got Hiku back next week, which shores up. Gemet Shibasaki getting injured last night as well.
Yeah.
I know that these guys are wingers and they've come in and Taulungi's a winger, possibly not that important, but Cotter going down for us is huge. I still think the shining light for us this year, and he's been outstanding all year, is Reece Robson.
Yeah.
Reece Robson is the only thing keeping that team together at the moment. If he goes down, we are... maybe put a bit of a bleep over that, but that's how I feel about this Cowboys team right now. If Reece Robson wasn't going out there and doing what he does every week, we wouldn't be in any game.
Let's talk about Reece Robson, because he's been exceptional. He's making about 50 tackles a game. He's running about 100 meters most games as well. Reece Robson's putting the team on his back, playing 80 minutes, and just producing consistently explosive performances for the Cowboys.
He's only getting better every year since he joined the Cowboys. I'm happy that we've got him locked up for another couple of years as well. Bit of an origin smoky, as far as I'm concerned as well. If Api Coruscant doesn't perform as well, remember he was the starting 9 for the Blues last year. Api Coruscant hasn't been going that well. The Tigers haven't been going that well. I know the Cowboys possibly haven't been going that well, but in saying that, Robson's been the best player on the field for the Cowboys.
I'll tell you what, too. The Blues have dropped players for moving to worse clubs as well. So Coruscant could be dropped. I mean, Addo-Carr was dropped last year for going to the Dogs and having a bit of a struggle early in the season. Coruscant could easily be dropped. But Damien Cook's playing fantastic footy right now as well, so it's going to be hard to usurp him. Yeah,
it's tough. I think you can't really pick a specialist hooker either. We've seen that the Blues don't tend to go for that. But in saying that, as far as the Cowboys are concerned, their injury toll has taken a bit of a toll, and I think Leilua being out, for me, is really important because he breaks tackles. He always looks for an offload, and he's so dangerous close to the line. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with his court case at the moment, because what's happened is his girlfriend, who he's now marrying, by the way, has dropped the charges, but the state police haven't dropped the charges, and the NRL won't relieve him of the stand-down clause unless the charges are dropped at a state level.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated stuff. I mean, obviously just pure footy-wise, you want him back in the game, especially for the Cowboys. So if we look ahead, and let's tie this one up, put a nice bow on it. Cowboys season this year, I'm going to throw a few questions at you. Are they going to make the top 8?
Yeah.
Are they going to finish in the top 4?
No.
Are they going to perform well through the origin period?
I'd have to look at their fixtures, because fixtures are extremely important if they're playing teams that have guys out as well.
Top of your head?
No.
No, I think they could be missing some guys too. Do you see them being knocked out the first week of the finals?
No, not based on last year.
Second week?
Yeah, I don't see it going much further than this at the moment.
Okay, second week. See, I reckon they could resurge. I mean, there's a lot of other teams looking a bit dodgy. You got Parramatta, who we're going to do a video on shortly. You got the Panthers even look like they're struggling in attack. You know, the Chooks have been hit and miss. Souths have been hit and miss.
It's a really open competition at the moment. It's something that's great for footy fans. You know, at the moment, it's there's about 7 or 8 teams that I could possibly see winning the comp right now. I think it'll shore up a little bit. Like the market will shore up a little bit as the closer we get. But I think if you're taking a punt on someone to win the comp at the moment, you could get big money for it.
Yeah, juicy. And when we're talking about winning the comp there as well, the Cowboys, when they last won the comp, 2015, they lost their first 3 games that season. So anything can happen.